What do you do?
Threw out fish. Welcome aboard. After years cruising the North Pacific, we are embarking on a journey south to warmer waters. This is our story day by day as we explore Mexico's beautiful Baja coast. Come along and experience daily cruising life as we do.
All right, it's about 11:15. We're ready to go. Couple things I don't think we've shown raising the anchor in the dark. A couple things we do a little bit differently. Obviously, everything is already set for nighttime mode. Sea Venture, we have a bunch of different exterior lights on the boat. For this, we will not turn on our big forward-facing light bars that light up everything in front of the boat, but rather do the front deck light so I can actually see the anchor. Now that means Rosie can't see out to drive the boat while I'm raising the anchor. So we'll communicate carefully together about what she needs to do. Plus she's got the computer, but remember the computer is only as good for direction when the boat is actually moving. So what I like to do is look at the actual compass. And you can see that right now we're sitting at a heading of about 20 degrees, and I know that we're pointed right toward the shore. So Rosie knows if she heads at a compass heading of 180 degrees, by the compass, that puts us out to sea. So, because until the boat is actually moving, navigation systems, electronic navigation systems, don't give you a heading on them. So I think we're ready to go, right? Let's pull the anchor up,
yeah.
see how it goes. All right.
Let's go. Jim's getting the bridle up. All right, I'm slowly working my way out of the bay towards my course line. I like my radar set close in so I can see exactly what I have around me right now. We're just running about 1,000 RPM, and I'm manually steering for a moment here till we get ourselves on a course. All right, what are we, an hour in?
Yeah.
Half an hour in?
Yeah,
an hour?
something like that.
Short distance in. What do you think?
I think it's pretty pitchy.
Yeah.
Maybe 4-foot seas on 4 seconds. And it's not the forecasted conditions, but I think remember the forecast is ocean swell, not wind waves. And I think this is just the residual of the wind waves. And what people report here is that it's bigger than forecasted. And I think that's exactly what we're encountering. It's fine. We actually throttled back a little bit, so we weren't driving off the top of them and crashing down quite so hard. But we're still averaging, what, 6.8 knots?
Yep.
So it's fine. We got about 15 more minutes, then we're going to make about a 20 degree turn to port, and I think it'll put them a little less on the nose, and maybe it'll be better then. But it's fine. It's just, I think, what people report, that they're bigger seas than what windy and predict wind show. And that's what we got. So, but you can kind of see outside, which is kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. Good morning. It is about 2 a.m. I'm in the middle of my shift right now, and really we're coming along pretty good. We have kept up a solid 7 knots or so as we make our way towards Los Mortes, which is where we're headed. I'd say we're about 2/3 of the way through our trip. We left about 11, and right now our ETA is about 5:30 a.m., which might be a little bit early. I find it kind of stunning that we're doing 6.9 right now, and boy, for a while it was 7.5, and then 7.2. Now we're about 7. With the reduced RPM that we're running on, it was pretty darn pitchy, and when we throttled back a little bit, that settled things out. We've kept the RPM a little bit lower. We're running about 50 or 75 RPM lower than we normally do, and still getting some good speed and getting there a little sooner than we really had hoped. We want to get to our destination at daylight. So I think that'll be closer to 6 or 6:15. But we'll make an assessment at 3 when Jim gets up. We may throttle back a little bit more so we can just slow up a little bit more and get there a little bit later. It has really settled out. The pitching has calmed down significantly. And really it's just been a quiet night. There's not much out there. We can see a little bit, so it's nice. When I turn the lights out, I can see at least the water as it's approaching, and every once in a while you can see kind of a swell in the water, but otherwise it's been really good. Wind's been nothing to speak of, so a great passage. And just, what, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3.5 hours left to go. Well, hopefully 4. We need to make it 4.
Well, good morning. It's the 3 a.m. report. We are just cruising along, doing well. Let me show you a couple things out the front. I've turned the red lights on just so it's not pitch black for you, but there's really not much to report. No targets on the radar or anything. We are just 15 miles from the anchorage, and we're still continuing to run too fast tonight. So we have dropped the RPMs now to about 1250, which has slowed us up some, but still averaging 6.2 knots. Still going to arrive about 30 minutes early, but that's close enough. We can putz into the anchorage shortly. That's at least the theory. Otherwise, if I turn the red lights off, I don't know that the camera will catch it out the window. Let's try opening the top half of a door here. It just doesn't do it. I can see the water pretty clearly, actually. But there's the moon. Almost a full moon. Anyway, we'll update you again at 5 o'clock. Otherwise, pretty relaxing night. Just a nighttime run. Well, there maybe you can see the moonlight out the window. I've got the red lights on again for you. We have 0 wind. Moving along. Boy, have we made tracks tonight. Moving north here. I have now dropped our RPMs to 980, right in there, in an effort to not arrive in the dark. We have 8.4 nautical miles to go. Well, look at that beautiful moon out there. We continue to head toward our anchorage.
We're very close.
We're very close. We are... I'll show you the moon. 2.9 miles away. But it is still dark. So we have slowed up to... Well, that's idle. That's both engines in idle. 3.3 knots at idle in an effort to get there in the daylight. And I know we can go anchor in the dark, totally capable of that, but I don't want to. So we're not.
So what time is it?
Right now it is 5:18, and now our expected arrival 6:15.
Perfect, because
Yeah.
we know 6:15 is daylight.
Well, it's at least a goldenish,
It's golden.
sunrisey.
Because we got a gorgeous picture. We'll throw it in real quick of our friend's boat in the other anchorage at 6:15 this morning.
Actually,
Yesterday morning.
and actually, video of that was in yesterday. It was in yesterday's video.
Oh, that's
as well.
right. That's right. I did a video.
Showing Fern in the sunrise
Yeah.
was taken right at 6:15, so
So we
that's
have-
our target.
So that's in 1 hour. Hi, I'm just cozy up in the corner with my
Ooh,
coffee.
oh, there. Now you just came into focus. But we can
sorry.
hear you.
Yeah, like I got up 5 minutes ago, so I'm just waking up.
Well, it's a good thing it's fuzzy. All right.
Anyway. Anything else?
I don't know. Now we're cruising at 3.2 knots. Kind of feel like sailors.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we've just gone way faster than we thought we would this whole
Way
passage.
faster.
So, what's with the current?
I don't know. We did a lot of time at well over 7 knots.
One thing that's
And throttled back. We never did get to 1500 RPM the whole night.
No.
So our normal cruising RPM. So.
And I can imagine this section, because there's some kind of current northbound, that if you had any wind southbound, that would really make it messy.
This could be really messy. You can see how that could happen.
Exactly.
Because we were, I think, 4 foot on 4 seconds, 5
For
foot
a
on 5
while,
seconds
yeah.
for a while when we left, and with no wind, and so when a lot of current, and so if you had
even 15
current,
knots of wind would have been pretty messy.
would have been pretty messy. Yep. Oh well.
So glad we went over the evening hour, nighttime hours when there was no wind.
Yes.
So anyway, so that part was a success.
Yep.
Now we just got to get ourselves anchored.
Now we just cruise it idle, like we're rowing almost. No, it's okay. 3 knots.
That's fine. We'll
Enjoy our
slowly
coffee,
slow it
have a
up.
laugh, and we'll eventually get there. So you love those RPMs.
6:11 and we're approaching the anchorage. We have stalled long enough. The sun is just starting to come up, or well, actually the sky is just starting to lighten. And there are a few boats up here in the anchorage, so we're just going to work our way up and see how it goes. Real quick, the sun is coming up and we're in the process of anchoring, so I really need to pay attention, but I wanted to show that to you. Our depth is 27.5. Are we? All right, cool. Jim says we're done. We'll call this a wrap.
Right, looking out the pilot house windows, this big sport fisher over here name is Mai Tai. And that can look pretty close to us anchored, but we use a range finder. I think it's a critical tool for anchoring, and Alaska was phenomenal to actually measure, because things always appear closer than they really are. So we have 150 feet of chain out or so, and Mai Tai is how far away from us, Rosie?
115 yards.
115 yards away.
Yeah.
And she's actually pretty big out the window. I mean, it looks like she's pretty close, but...
So
So she is 345 feet away from us
Yeah.
right now. So that's a rangefinder. Show them the
Yeah.
rangefinder. Used by hunters and golfers a lot.
Yeah.
You just point it at something and it tells you exactly how far something away is. Because it always seems to me, boating, things are further away than they appear.
When you're in the tender, you get a sense that it's further away. But on the boat, it feels like it's right next to you.
Like you're close, yeah. All right.
Anyway, peace of mind.
A new destination. We are here.
Yeah. Let's run outside and take a peek. All right, the sun is coming up. This is kind of the view from outside. There's some fair reef there. It talks about being sure to give it a wide berth, which we were noticing the Pangas doing earlier. There's a cantina on the beach that the guidebooks say is really pretty good. There's a little zoomer in of that. And then some boats here in the anchorage. And it's kind of nice to see some power boats.
2 other power boats here.
3.
3. Oh yeah. Pretty cool.
So, new place to explore. But first we're going to take a nap. We are at Ensenada de los Muertos. There's the reef at the north end of the bay. I'll pan around for you a little bit. It's a beautiful sunny day. The wind is picking up just a little bit. It's about 10 knots. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. That is the area of the Cantina and the parking lot, I guess, for visiting this area. Tons of fishing pangas here. And when we arrived this morning, I think I showed you there were 3 other power boats. Now the catamaran or trimaran, I'm not sure what that is, and us are the only boats here other than the pangas. There's a nice sandy beach on the far side over there that we're going to go take a stroll down, and then farther along the bay at the south end is a resort that's being built, and they're calling it the Bay of Dreams, or Sueños, I think is what it is, instead of Muertos. That was a little too morbid for them, the Bay of Death versus Bay of Dreams. We were reading in the guidebooks the Bay of Death, or Los Muertos, was because they had dropped some, I think, train axles down into the bay so they could tie off barges to it, and for whatever reason. I came back downstairs because I butchered the reason why this cove is called Los Muertos, and we had read about it, and Jim's gonna read you that little segment so we can get it right.
What's a muerto? Ashore in the sheltered head at Muertos Cove, the remnants of a stone wharf and adjacent stone warehouse are now historic landmarks. The place named Muertos refers to 6 train axles that were buried in the bottom of the cove in the 1920s. These buried anchors, called dead man anchors or muertos, served to secure 2 big barges that came alongside the stone wharf and loaded ore that had arrived by train from the silver mines up at El Triunfo. Early guidebooks told of buried anchors southwest of the wharf and of the ore cart that had inadvertently been run off the wharf. So that's how it was called Bay of the Dead. But now this big resort over here has worked on getting it renamed to Bay of the Dreams is the name of the resort, and that's what some people are calling it now, which is Ensenada de los
Sueños? Sorry, I have to do
the Bay of Dreams instead of Bay of the Dead.
There you have it.
So we got 3 guidebooks talking about this location.
We're just putzing along the shore, but we're coming across these old stone piers. They used to be a wharf for the salt mining and some other kind of mining.
Silver mine.
Silver mine, that's it. Here's the launch ramp, occupied by lots of birds. Lots of pelicans here.
What do you do?
Threw out fish. And it's feast. Jim's playing photographer for some folks. We're up on the old wharf area, and the water just looks amazing. And there's Sea Venture out there. We're gonna walk out to the reef out here.
Rosie, you take.
Just a little bit of a surf here, a little surge.
enjoying the Cantina here.
Yes, we are.
Got a beer, aqua mineral, margarita, guac and chips coming, still trying to figure out lunch. The water, I don't know if the camera catches it like it really is, but it is just stunning and crystal clear. I think we're gonna have to jump in after this. The guac and chips have arrived. Besides the boat launch, you can see where they've made these little aisleways between the rocks that extend across the beach and all the way out into the water that all line up. In the meantime, out in the bay, there is Sea Venture. Gotta pinch ourselves, we're in this spot, man. I think we've made it to the tropics.
Here we are in the anchorage. The sun is setting over the land, which is really strange for a Washingtonian to say. The sun is setting over the land and it rises over the sea. Quite the opposite of what we've been used to for so many years. The anchorage is filling up a little bit this evening. It's been nice to have a nice calm anchorage. The wind never built up very much today, and yeah, we just had a great relaxing day.